It was 106 degrees, now it's just 98 in Central California. Welcome to the United Soccer League Game of the Week, where tonight from Papa Murphy's Park, RGV begins a 3-game road swing at a rising Sacramento Republic. Hello everybody, Mike Watts joined by former College Cup player at Virginia Tech, Morgan Conklin. Everybody's got the ice cream cones tonight. They're handing it out for free in this extreme heat that both these teams are used to. For RGV, they're an offense that typically is so good. The big reason why, Morgan, is that you expect Charlie Ward to be one of the great passers in the league. He leads this team in all passing categories.
Well, to say he's a great passer is even an understatement. He's played 661 passes so far this season at an 89.6% conversion rate. The player with the next most passes is 550, but only connecting 79% of them. The numbers just show how often he's on the ball and how accurate he is all over the field.
Talking about numbers, Danny Barrera, the #1 chance creator in the USL, and he's back after a 1-game suspension.
And he plays on the right side, but he likes to cut in on that left foot. He found his way central in this goal against Tulsa, finds his way central, gets the ball off Ochoa, just so dangerous. Even though he's wide, he will be in the midfield throughout tonight.
And he's one of the best set-piece takers in the league as well. For RGVFC, 7 changes in their lineup from their 1-0 loss to LA Galaxy 2.
Well, in a change, but a name that's not surprising, Eric Bird is back in the lineup. Wasn't in their last game, wasn't in the 18 at all, as he played the full 120 with Houston Dynamo in their Open Cup match. So he's back. Look for him to connect with former UVA teammate Todd Wharton up top.
On the other side, when RGV was here a month ago, Sacramento had been playing 3 in the back, went to a 4-4-2 diamond. That's the look they get tonight.
They're having a lot of success with this formation. They feel like it suits their personnel. Wilson Nishaw, Trevin Caesar like to push and get behind the back line. Allows a lot of space for Tyler Blackwood to really create underneath of them. Watch the 3 of them connecting tonight. They're fun to watch.
2 teams on the cusp of playoff position. Not the case a year ago. #2 is an expansion team. RGV goes on the road to one of the great venues in the USL. The #1 team in the conference last year, Sacramento, as at home in the USL Game of the Week. It starts next. A heat wave in Central California, temperatures soaring above 100 degrees. Finally, it's down to 98. Just minutes away from kickoff and sunset, RGV starts a 3-game road swing at a rising Sacramento Republic from Papa Murphy's Park in the United Soccer League Game of the Week. Hello, everybody. Mike Watts with Morgan Conklin, former ACC defender. When you think about these 2 teams, you think about their tremendous offenses in past years, but this year it's been a story of defense. For RGV, though, if they're going to play good defense and play good offense, they need to be able to pass the ball effectively, and nobody's more... Fuck.
You're good.
Oh, keep that one. Scorching heat in Central California. Indomitable fans, Indomitable City, Sacramento Republic still packing the house at Papa Murphy's Park, where the temperatures are just beneath 100 degrees. RGV starts a 3-game road swing at a rising Sacramento Republic in the United Soccer League Game of the Week. Hello, everybody. Mike Watts with former ACC defender Morgan Conklin. Glad to have you with us for this one. Both teams on the edge of playoff position despite tremendous seasons a year ago. And if RGV is going to play at their height, they're going to look to a good passing attack led by Charlie Ward, who's effective no matter where he is on the field.
Well, and his impact on this
A scorching heat wave in Central California. 106 just hours ago, now 98 degrees. Welcome to Papa Murphy's Park, where today Rio Grande Valley starts a 3-game road swing at the Indomitable City, Sacramento Republic FC, in the USL Game of the Week. Hello, everybody. Mike Watts with former ACC defender Morgan Conklin, an RGV side last year that offensively top of the Western Conference. A Sacramento side that last year defensively as good as they've ever been, but right now both on the edge of playoff position. And when you think about this Rio Grande Valley side, Charlie Ward is the centerpiece of their passing attack.
Well, and to talk about him in passing, it just goes together. He's played 661 passes at an 89.6% accuracy. The player with the next most is 550, but only achieving 79% in terms of conversion. That just shows how good he is all over the field.
If he's a great passer, here's a great chance creator. Danny Barrera leads the USL.
Danny Barrera on that right wing, but he finds his way central to get it on his left foot. In this goal against Tulsa, found his way central, gets the ball off Ochoa, just has a nice finish.
Also finds Chris Christian on the corner kick as one of the great set-piece takers in the league as well. 7 changes in this lineup for RGVFC.
And a player back in the lineup, Eric Bird, wasn't in the 18 in their last game. He played the full 120 with Houston Dynamo in their Open Cup match last week. So he's back in the lineup tonight, back in the starting lineup. Look for him to connect with Todd Wharton up top, the UVA connection.
Meanwhile, for Sacramento, 3 changes. Barrera's back from a 1-game suspension, coming off big wins against Vancouver and in the US Open Cup against Real Salt Lake.
Barrera back. Obviously, that's a huge gain for them, but watch the front 3 up top for Sacramento. Wilson Michel, Trevin Caesar will look to spread this defense out, look to get him behind them, and it will create space for Tyler Blackwood to be able to play in that attacking midfield role and really create there going forward.
Last year, the 2 stories in the United Soccer League. Rio Grande Valley, the expansion side, finishing 2nd in the Western Conference behind a dynamic offense. Sacramento, 2014 USL Cup champions, 1st in the West. They try and get their season back on track. USL Game of the Week is next.
I have small plans.
Ask any Honda driver.
I'm a small man on campus.
Small Get Big sales event. Get big savings on the versatile Fit, named a 2017 Best Car for the Money by U.S. News and
broad stripes and broad.
A scorching heat wave in Central California. 106 just hours ago, now 98 degrees. Welcome to Papa Murphy's Park, where today Rio Grande Valley starts a 3-game road swing at the indomitable city, Sacramento Republic FC, in the USL Game of the Week. Hello, everybody. Mike Watts with former ACC defender Morgan Conklin, an RGV side last year that offensively top of the Western Conference. A Sacramento side that last year defensively as good as they've ever been, but right now both on the edge of playoff position. And when you think about this Rio Grande Valley side, Charlie Ward is the centerpiece of their passing attack.
Well, and to talk about him in passing, it just goes together. He's played 661 passes at an 89.6% accuracy. The player with the next most is 550, but only achieving 79% in terms of conversion. That just shows how good he is all over the field.
If he's a great passer, here's a great chance creator. Danny Barrera leads the USL.
Danny Barrera on that right wing, but he finds his way central to get it on his left foot. In this goal against Tulsa, found his way central, gets the ball off Ochoa, just has a nice finish.
Also finds Chris Christian on the corner kick as one of the great set-piece takers in the league as well. 7 changes in this lineup for RGVFC.
And a player back in the lineup, Eric Bird, wasn't in the 18 in their last game. He played the full 120 with Houston Dynamo in their Open Cup match last week. So he's back in the lineup tonight, back in the starting lineup. Look for him to connect with Todd Wharton up top, the UVA connection.
Meanwhile, for Sacramento, 3 changes. Barrera's back from a 1-game suspension, coming off big wins against Vancouver and in the U.S. Open Cup against Real Salt Lake.
Barrera back. Obviously, that's a huge gain for them, but watch the front 3 up top for Sacramento. Wilson Nishaw, Trevin Caesar will look to spread this defense out, look to get him behind them, and it will create space for Tyler Blackwood to be able to play in that attacking midfield role and really create there going forward.
Last year, the 2 stories in the United Soccer League. Rio Grande Valley, the expansion side, finishing 2nd in the Western Conference behind a dynamic offense. Sacramento, 2014 USL Cup champions, 1st in the West. They try and get their season back on track. USL Game of the Week is next.
I have small plans.
Ask any Honda driver.
I'm a small man on campus.
Small is the new big.
I like to make a small impression.
It's NorCal Honda Dealers Go Small, Get Big sales event. Get big savings on the versatile Fit, named a 2017 Best Car for the Money by U.S. News and World Report.
Go small, get big.
Hurry in soon. See your NorCal Honda dealer today.
Murphy's Law says if you have ingredients for chaos, chaos will happen. Papa Murphy's Law says if you have a pizza made right in front of you with ingredients like scratch-made dough and fresh-grated real mozzarella, peace will reign at dinner time. Murphy's Law of, uh-oh. Papa Murphy's Law of, oh yes. Tonight, home bake a large signature Hawaiian pizza, just $8. Papa Murphy's.
Wiener Schnitzel finally has das Schnitzel. Wiener Schnitzel now has das Schnitzel.
Das gut.
2 Kaiser Schnitzel, 3 Liter Leber.
Das gut.
Only at das Wiener Schnitzel. Das Wiener Schnitzel.
Das gut.
Wiener Schnitzel is bringing you 3 all-new chicken schnitzel sandwiches. Classic ranch, bacon, guacamole, and barbecue bacon. Wiener Schnitzel, that's awesome.
Energy connects us to our communities, to each other. As your community-owned electric service, SMUD is committed to clean energy and technology that's good for the environment. That's why we're championing electric vehicles. We're providing a rebate and discounted charging rate when you purchase or lease a new plug-in electric vehicle. Let's connect energy, transportation, and our community. Learn more at smud.org/drive-electric.
Players making their way onto the field, RGV and Sacramento Republic just minutes away from kickoff in the United Soccer League game of the week. Borja Angoita makes start number 6 of the year, a 25-year-old who hails from Bilbao, Spain. For Rio Grande Valley, he is back in the order. 3 different goalkeepers have started the last 3 games. The white and blue jerseys for the road side of RGV FC, a team that has allowed just 10 goals in 12 games. A number that's good for second in the Western Conference behind undefeated San Antonio FC. Underway under really genuinely oppressive heat in Central California. That Delta breeze will begin to break the heat as the sun sets, but for now, just over 95 degrees in Sacramento, California. Mike Watts, Morgan Conklin with you. I think from the outset, Sacramento wants to find themselves out on the front foot. It's what Paul Buckle was telling us in our call earlier today.
Yeah, they're definitely looking for a hot start, trying to get on the board first, but also just establishing their style of play early on in this game.
Meanwhile, RGV has other ideas. Here's Jose Escalante. Nondoran knocked off the ball, going hard with Jeremy Hall, who won it for the men, playing at home in front of another crowd expected to near the 11,000 it takes to sell out Papa Murphy's Park. A little bit of pressure here from Blackwood. And turned over in the midfield, but the sliding ball ahead from Hall was intercepted. When we spoke with Paul Buckle, he made it clear he wants to see his guys give 100% effort for 60 minutes rather than 3/4 effort for 90.
Well, and he said it perfectly. He said, we want our guys to run down this opponent's back line. He said, if they can only give us 60, I will take 60 over 90 of a little bit average. He said he wants his guys, when they're in, they need to work hard. They need to make an impact. So to say, you know, he'd rather have 60 great minutes than 90 kind of working hard, he said he'd rather take 60.
Well, Escalante is fouled. And Sacramento very much on the back foot at this present moment. Opportunity to put it in play for Emilio Garcia. And that ball just swings wide of the post. 3 Toros players were trying to make that difficult for Evan Newton.
It's a beautiful ball played in by Garcia. The way that just bends towards the goalkeeper. It makes Newton make a decision. Does he want to come out all the way? Is he going to try to track it and stay with it? You see Chris Christian go up for it, but the attacker steps right in front of him, beats him to that ball. Christian needs to step up. He has to be first to it.
Ball that trickles out of play away from Eric Bird. Sacramento trying to move quickly. A little bit of space opening for Trevin Caesar. Just offline from Wilson Nishaw. Handled by Angoita. Nishaw helping to force the turnover as the ball wound out of play. There's Jeremy Hall. Now the aforementioned Chris Christian. Emmer Clementa, his 100th appearance with the club coming in their game against Vancouver. Ball that bounces off of Bird. Escalante got a piece, but is conflicting number 23 Clementa put it in the bench. Kept in play by Garcia. Tap back to Ward. Bird sending it up the right side. Kasner. Bird, who's scored some real jaw droppers from this kind of distance, and now Ward, who's really the focal point of this passing effort for RGV.
Fantastic job defensively there from Sacramento. You can see the lines that they're defending in. So difficult to break down. They're playing that 4-4-2 diamond, but when they drop behind the ball, they're having their forward step to the highest one, but they have all those players organized behind, so the back four sees the attacking players of RGV. Through the midfield, they're organized, very condensed, so there's not much room to play through. We talk about Charlie Ward, such a great passer. He doesn't have many options in that moment.
That ball a little offline there for Angoite, who's able to handle it. I think it's interesting speaking with both coaches this week. Sacramento going back to a 4-4-2 diamond, and that's how they both defend and attack as it's turned over to Hall. They have been playing a three-back system, down a lot of defenders due to injury in the early going of this season. It caught RGV by surprise in their 0-0 draw here in Sacramento last month as Bird stepping in on Hall, who keeps possession and finds Danny Barrera. Barrera launching it forward into the right-hand corner. Brought down by Horde. A little bit of space now for Caesar. And sliding down was Nishaw.
Caesar frustrated. That one didn't come off. I really like that run by Nishaw. First, though, by Caesar popping off that back line, he's able to get the ball turned, try to slip Nishaw through. I mentioned those front three in the open. They're going to be so dangerous. Caesar, Blackwood, Nishaw. The three of those players playing together and interchanging, especially with the two high players trying to get in behind, but also you've seen Caesar a couple times pop off the back line and just play make by himself.
Garza playmaking for RGV. Escalante sends service. Winds all the way through the box. James Kiffey had to play it. Pops into the east side grandstand, which until just a few minutes ago was really looking straight into the sun. The Tower Bridge Battalion has made no mistake in their set of bleachers. Arriving on time despite the sweltering heat. Junior Gonzalez called this just another day in South Texas. So his roadside prepared for 95+ degree heat. Comes to Garza. Forced off the ball. Clementa making a run forward from the center back position. Showing to Barrera, it's turned over. Hey, USL fans, make sure you stay up to date on the latest news and information from around the league by listening to USL Coast to Coast on SiriusXM Channel 85, airing Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. And don't forget, the USL Game of the Week, traditionally also on SiriusXM FC. Kasner. There's Eric Bird. Got up and hit Jeremy Hall. Caceres trying to step in and does. Strip the ball right away from Kasner. And now the attack on for Sacramento. There's Barrera. Head on a swivel. Horde arriving on the scene, slid away from him by Victor Garza.
The numbers that Sacramento pushes forward with, they get the quick turnover and they go quickly. They move their players forward, are able to switch the field and find Horde all the way on the other side. That's going to lead to success if they can continue to pick off the ball in the midfield and then spring forward quickly with numbers.
Sacramento team that last year was defensively as good as they've ever been in the USL. They won it all as an expansion team under Preki in 2014. Nishaw took it away, sends the cross. Karam's out. There's Ward. Captain's armband this evening, 22-year-old from England. Drop pass for Bird. Here's Barrera. Blackwood dispossessed. Barrera takes over again. We spoke with Paul Buckle about Jeremy Hall and how he works with Barrera in this 4-4-2 diamond. When one stays back, the other, usually Barrera, gets a chance to move upfield.
Yeah, well, it's more so Hall really staying central. He said he just wants him to sit in front of that back line. He said he's so good on the ball, really key in their possession, but it allows Barrera to have the freedom to attack forward and still defend at times, but not have as much defensive responsibilities because Hall will be back there.
You saw Barrera sneaking up on the bottom of your screen, getting central as he likes to do.
And freedom seemed to be the key word when we were talking with Paul Buckle earlier this week. He just said his team's doing their best when the players have freedom. So whether that's Barrera playing him on the right, but so he can cut central onto his left foot and allowing him really play in that central role, but starting wide, or whether it's Blackwood underneath the two front runners and really controlling that area and having freedom to drift wherever he can find the ball. And then also freedom for Caesar and Nishaw up front, but especially Caesar, he said, to get in behind the back line. He said his players do better when they have that freedom and aren't as much reined in. They all have the same idea, but it really allows these individual players to show their skills, to show their soccer personality.
As Barrera fires the ball upfield, snuck it over the shoulder. Caesar brings it down. Caesar winds it across. Saved by Anguita. It was easy in the end. Blackwood put it right at the keeper, a guy who's still looking to take advantage of his chances at a higher clip.
Caesar had too much time there. He had the ball early, didn't play it, and then by the time it comes back to him, Blackwood's just waiting for that ball, but guess what? So is the RGV defense, just waiting for the ball to come back through. A really nice early ball to play Caesar in behind, but Blackwood's waiting for it. That cut back really wastes time, allows RGV to drop in, get back into position, and then allows for an easy save.
Yeah, I think Sagal was wrong-footed, the central defender, if that ball had come across a little sooner. Meanwhile, Emilio Garcia finds his way up the left-hand wing and goes one-on-one with Clementa, who wins the ball away and stiff arms Garcia to keep it for Sacramento in a scoreless game in the 12th minute. Caceres scored in 2 consecutive games. Speaking with the front office for this side, asked how common is that? Not very.
Hey, that's always nice though.
But did score against RSL and against Vancouver, so credit where it's due to Augie Caceres.
I like the honesty though. He was like, yeah, no, not really.
Horde. There's Hall. There's Elliot Horde, signed after Clementa was injured last season to play that right back position. The team had tried 4 different players. Horde has really taken the position and run with it. Out of UC Davis.
And Horde is another one of those players with freedom. They want him to get forward. If the time's on, they want Horde to get forward. Paul Buckle believes in him getting forward, knows he can create out wide. So he's another one of those players. If he has the moment, get forward. Clemente does a great job of really balancing that space when Horde gets forward. And he's smart. He picks his moments when it's on.
The Sacramento team feels like they're picking their moment well in this really extensive heat. They're controlling the play and making RGV move, which I'm sure is not what the Toros were looking to do.
Especially early on. When for RGV, you just want to have the ball and establish your play.
Nishaw cutting on Sagal, the shot saved by Anguita. Kept alive. And ushered out by Barrera in the end. A corner coming for Sacramento. It was a great save. Is there anybody better in the league on set pieces than that man right there, Danny Barrera?
I was just going to say RGV isn't out of the woods yet. This corner's so dangerous with Barrera on the ball. His left foot, the in-swinger, the targets that they have in the box.
3 assists on the year, 39 chances created. Looking for Christian, that got over him. Trevin Caesar, who scored 19 goals in the last 2 years, has a ball that hops towards Blackwood. Back to Bird, over Christian, and now the transition offense on the move. Bird, front running on the left. Popped up by Wharton. Kasner's pass didn't quite get far enough to stretch out the defense.
And this is just a beautiful play. A really nice cut central by Nishaw to get the ball on his right foot. A nice strike, is just able to get around Sagal. Gets him going one way, quick cut, forces the save. That's a nice job, quick footwork. A bit far out, but he gets a really good look on frame.
We had the Sacramento team earlier this year, and the great PR man Eddie Ralph for the club making note that Nishaw was scoring a goal every 65 minutes last year and was starting off at a similar clip early this season. 2 goals now through 726 minutes after missing 2 of the last 3. As play will reach all the way back to James Kiffey. Barrera as well to switch the point of the attack. Ball played across. I was looking for Nishaw, found Ngoita. Bird able to get the ball away. Clemente cutting it out in front of Wharton. Hall kept it through the challenge. Barrera toe poking it ahead for Trevin Caesar. Circles back and Horde plays Barrera. Speaking with Paul Buckley, just mentioned 500 passes, and I've talked to him 3 times this year ahead of games, and each time he mentioned that 500 number. Says that's typically where you see an English Premier League team pass in a good game. Somehow this sneaks by Green. Shot across the face of goal, winds wide. Well, these Sacramento fans surely liking what they've seen so far.
Well, for this RGV defense, that ball slips through way too easily. Clemente getting forward once again. The ball just slips through to Cazares. No space around him. Kai Green is not close enough because he wasn't expecting the ball to slip through. So if that's initially stopped, if that ball is stopped by Sagal, he goes to get the step, doesn't get a hold of it, that whole thing is avoided. But Cazares in the right place at the right time, gets a good shot on frame also, just misses wide. But RGV needs to tighten up a little bit in the midfield. It's a little too loose, especially defensively.
Wharton still coming. Newton won the race. normally I probably wouldn't say this, but the one man RGV should not leave open for a shot right now is Augie Casares.
With how he's been playing.
He's got a nose for goal of late. There's Kasner. Christian's looking around like, what did I do? The answer was nothing. Kiffey. Hall, a clever touch. Barrera knocks it back. Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the United Soccer League. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. Racing through, chipped through and in. Nishaw, third of the year. Sacramento takes a 1-goal lead. An Archer's accuracy from distance. Getting it by Angoita, who's made great saves early. 19th minute and a 1-0 lead for the home side.
I think I'll go back to that word freedom, but also awareness. The freedom of Nishaw to just find the space and the awareness to know that Anguita is coming off his line quickly, and all he has time for is a quick little chip. Sees it, gets his foot under the ball, is just able to pop it over. That is awareness, that is knowing what's around you, and that's a beautiful finish.
Talk about his ability to roam left, center, and right. Guy who was signed on potential in August of last year and scored some good goals, and now wrong-footed was Bird. Caesar. Is there another one in Sacramento? Not just yet. Not off of Magalhaes.
Paul Buckle, I think this is about as good of a start you could hope for from your team. He wanted them, as he said, to be on the front foot, to have a good start. They've established possession. They've had chances before that goal. To put one in before the 20th minute, they're definitely playing the type of soccer he wanted. He said they've created a lot of chances, but the finishing part hasn't always been there.
Lobbed over again, this time for Blackwood. To be exact, he said, we've had 3 years worth of chances already.
So exactly, they've created a lot.
A lot.
But to be able to do that early on and then top it off with a goal within the first 20 minutes, that's a great start for them.
I thought it was interesting that both coaches talked about the importance of being able to get behind the opposing defense as their game plan for this game. Talked about how Blackwood is that number 10, isn't just your regular get the ball and turn. He's a guy who can get behind. There we saw Nishaw get through, coming from a position behind the defense. Brought down by Garza. Emilio Garcia goes down. Play stopped. Alejandro Mariscal is the referee. Chris Christian talking this over.
I really like the fact that Christian goes for that ball, but it's definitely a little bit extra. Not sure if it was intentional or not, but definitely got Garcia with the elbow, with the arm when he came in. But I like the fact that he's stepping to the attacker. When that ball's coming in, he's there, but just stand him up. There's no need to run through him at that point.
Christian assessed a yellow card in the 23rd minute. It's his third yellow of the year. Garcia seeds the ball to Escalante, now Garza. Runners arriving in the box for RGV. Kasner plays it back. The USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and its rising stars. Stay up to date, all the latest league news and information, visiting USLsoccer.com. Trying to turn the corner on Horde, and the ball leaked out over the end line. A goal kick to Sacramento, took the lead in the 19th minute. Third goal of the year for Wilson Nishaw. Temperatures soaring above 90 degrees mean we are almost assuredly getting ready for a water break in the coming 10 minutes or so. We're handing out water and ice cream here at the stadium and putting up special tents to provide additional shade as the sun was setting. It's set now, and this turf, we'll see the temperature drop on it by 15, maybe even 20 degrees by the time we reach halftime. Christian's pass, Hall arrived just in time.
Hall wasn't fazed by that. That was one thing we talked with Paul Buckle about. He just said he's a player, he's not fazed. If a player's on him, he'll turn. If a player's on his back, he'll turn like he just did. He said he is so confident, so calm on the ball. And that's such an important quality to have in a defensive midfielder, because they just have to really own that space. If you have players around you, if there's chaos, you have to be able to play out of it. You have to be able to just have awareness. And Hall is just that player. He's that central hub that is just confident and is calm on the ball.
Maybe that comes with 125 games of MLS experience across a variety of franchises. You're able to bring a guy like that into USL. Certainly there are some young pieces and exciting, less proven names on the Sacramento roster, but Hall really is the glue that seems to hold it all together. Caesar, what a pass! In! Ty Blackwood makes it 2-0 to Sacramento. What was more clinical, the passing or the finish? Regardless, 2-0 Sacramento.
That first ball in by Barrera was on point, but then the second one by Caesar was just so tactical, so beautiful, and then the finish, to have a player on your back, just Blackwood able to finish that, composure, that whole buildup was beautiful from Sacramento. Barrera saw the early ball, hit it with pace, got it into Caesar, and just Caesar, that little flick behind the leg to see Blackwood coming through, and then just the composed finish.
His first goal since April 8th. The battalion right now leaping up and down at Papa Murphy's Park. Blackwood, a guy who's always played on the wing, and I was really taken in speaking with Paul Buckle about finding the right position for him. So he spoke to contacts at QPR where he came up as a youth, and they said, wing, he's a striker. And now he's playing the number 10, and he doesn't look out of place.
Well, and that's just something that, talking with Paul Buckle, you kind of mentioned it earlier. He said some coaches like a 10, almost Messi-like, on the ball, turns, but he said he likes a 10 who can dribble at the back line. He said sometimes Blackwood makes runs that don't always get noticed because sometimes nothing comes from them, but he'll go at the back line for about 50 yards. And he's a player that is so good when he's dribbling at the back line, when he's just going straight at them, forcing the back line to make a decision, but then he also obviously has the ability to slip in behind, to see a play coming forward, to stay with it as he gets forward, and finish under pressure.
Kasner lined that off of Clementa, And a corner for Rio Grande Valley. Header is wide. There was a big forearm shove as well. Came from Robert Sagal. There's Christian, and now Hall. Barrera. Sacramento breaking through the pressure. Saris intercepted by Ward. Bird. Kastner has to ship it back. Today's match plays an important role in the close partnership between Major League Soccer and the USL to test the use of a video assistant referee, or VAR. VAR will be implemented during key match-changing situations and serious missed incidents on the field. For more information on VAR and its use in the match, visit uslsoccer.com. Of course, Confederations Cup using VAR with mixed. I think mixed is a good way to put it. From fans on Twitter and Facebook. Reviews. So far in USL, it's been rather seamless, and Major League Soccer will be jumping in feet first after the All-Star break. Ward. Garcia from distance. Oh, he lined it over the bar. And the referee blowing his whistle. And everybody's on their way to the bench. Temperatures still above 90 degrees in Central California. Not even the Delta breeze is enough to knock that down. So a hydration break for both the Sacramento side with a 2-goal lead and this RGV side trying to catch their breath. And for the fans too.
Water break for them too.
Yeah. Water and beverages of all kind. Well, Rio Grande Valley right now is a little bit on the back heel. Goals in the 19th and the 27th put them at a real disadvantage. They're used to this heat. Maybe that's the advantage that Junior Gonzalez has for the remainder of this half. The hydration break is pretty normal for this group.
Well, and also that hydration break is perfect timing for them because they still have time the rest of this half to regroup and go into break on the right foot, because right now they're not where they want to be, obviously.
A look at the earlier goals, both slipping behind the defense. Nishaw first.
Awareness to get that touch before the goalkeeper comes out all the way. A nice little chip. Just good awareness to see he doesn't have the time. He feels it, he knows it. I love that initial ball through. Just to split the outside back, the center back. Cazares, beautiful ball in, and just Nishaw able to slip that over.
And then one of the passes of the season, Trevor Caesar. Wow.
And the pass before that from Barrera to find Caesar, the flick behind his leg to see Blackwood. They are able to finish that one as well. The runs behind is what Paul Buckle wanted from his team coming into this game. They've done it all over the field. Both goals are examples of runs behind the back line.
The only question that remains is grading the celebration, but Trevin Caesar going behind the back. Blackwood scoring his 3rd goal of the season. Of course, there'll be a little extra time, one would imagine, in stoppage due to that break. As the clock continued to run, Sacramento a 2-goal lead. Nishaw on the 19th, Blackwood in the 27th. This offense has really found its gear of late. 17 goals in their last 8 games in all competitions and 2 more tonight. Over the top. There's Anguita.
If you're RGV, that long ball, not that it can't happen, but it has to be connected if it's going to go long. Otherwise, play through the middle. Players need confidence right now. They need to know that they can connect, whether it's starting with simple passes and then building up. That long ball down the field is difficult at this point in time when they haven't been able to establish any sort of rhythm. Sacramento is difficult to break down, so start basic, connect some passes, find your players, see where the movement is, and then maybe build up towards a longer one.
RGV side that, to be fair, made 7 changes their starting order. The core group has changed a bit. This RGV side, players up and down from the Houston Dynamo, their hybrid affiliate of the MLS club, US Open Cup, making some changes to their order in recent weeks. Perhaps that's one reason why they're struggling to connect passes as a group. It really did seem like in the first 5 minutes that they came out with the right idea.
And then they just, not that they lost it, it was just hard to establish it because Sacramento is playing very well right now. They're getting their players on the ball. They have the runs in behind, which we have seen when they have that, they are successful. So right now, Sacramento's hot in this game. RGV just hasn't been able to find their footing, which is important to do going into halftime. So whether it's not putting a goal on the board, it's important to establish their passing rhythm so they have something going into halftime to build off of.
Ward, cross-field pass. There's Kai Green. We haven't seen him get forward much, which might be a big part of the problem for Rio Grande Valley. Ward, chased down by Caesar. Garza. Hall stepped in. A throw coming. Fans stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast on Mondays, 9 p.m. Eastern on SiriusXM FC, Channel 85. Don't forget, SiriusXM FC airs the USL Game of the Week. Check USL Soccer for dates and times, and leading up to the USL's ESPNU games in July. USL Coast to Coast airing at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. on the West Coast. Next 3 weeks.
Jeremy Hall makes everything he does look so easy. He just turned out of and hopped over a defender as he kept the ball at his feet to then pass it. That's not easy, but he makes it look so simple.
I don't think there's a good statistic that measures that, but I don't know many in the league that have proven better at that quality. Caesar going after Garza hard. I think Caesar will get a talking to a little bit later.
This is good from RGV. This is what they needed. Obviously, Sacramento has pushed behind the ball, so they're allowing the back line to move it around, but that's a starting point for RGV. To be able to just connect passes, even getting their goalkeeper forward, getting him on the ball to find his center backs, and then build forward, that's a great start for them.
Hold up play from Wharton. Christian's clearance brought down by Wharton and spun wide. Green off of Christian, loose in the box, away from Bird. Blackwood corrals it. Herrera. Played through by Nishaw. Horde.
Great recovery from Garza there. That slip ball was in behind. Horde was chasing it down, once again getting in behind this RGV back line, but Garza is able to track that down and keep the ball and then build forward. That's just a fantastic job defensively by him, individual.
Hey, soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, go ahead and visit NikeSoccer.com. There's Christian, a yellow card in the 23rd minute, making his 11th start of the year. The center back position for a Sacramento side playing its 15th game of the season, tied for most in the USL, the most in the Western Conference. Only Tampa Bay Rowdies have reached the 15-game point, which makes it all the more important with teams beneath them with games in hand that they take max points at home. Or this is just their 6th game of the season. Games are coming fast and furious for this Sacramento side. They just played against Vancouver on the weekend. Then they're on their way Saturday down to Los Angeles. They'll take on Galaxy 2 in league play, and then LA Galaxy at the StubHub Center in Carson in the midweek next week in US Open Cup, one of 2 USL teams still alive. Bit amazing, that possession statistic, isn't it?
Yeah, early on, Sacramento was definitely dominating. RGV has had some momentum as of late, but definitely surprising to see because Sacramento has just, at least it seemed like they've had the ball so much more.
Lamenta. Newton handling it in the back. 4 shutouts on the year. He had 5 last year, splitting time with Dom Jacobek. There's Garcia. Well, we, I think, got a better look at that than the central referee did. Either way, it belongs to RGV. Contact edge of the area belongs to Republic FC. Now the ball played through, flag stays down. Caesar cuts it back, kids it, and scores. Trevin Caesar having a massive performance. His 2nd goal of the year. 3-0 to Sacramento. It is a dream performance tonight for Caesar and the Republic.
And he gets in behind the back line once again, finds the ball on his right foot. That cutback is what makes Anguita slide over. You think he's going far post, almost looks like he mishits it on the toe poke. The little deflection really just doesn't allow Anguita to get to that. You see the look on his face. He's not able to read where the ball's going, but Caesar, we knew he was dangerous getting in behind the back line. We knew Sacramento was dangerous getting in behind the back line. How have they scored all 3 of their goals? Getting in behind the back line. And it's been by 3 different players.
You know, we spoke before the game, if Sacramento wins, they did what? And it was create space. There's Ward. Kasner trying to pull one back for the Toros, won't be there.
And Mike, going on about that, it's creating space, and it was mainly creating space for those front 3, and all 3 of them have notched a goal in the first half.
Omnipotent Morgan Conklin. Kasner. Sidestepped out of harm's way. Nishaw on the 19th, Blackwood the 27th, and then Caesar following up in the 42nd minute. Kiffey lobs the ball ahead. Could it be another one for Sacramento? And that ball deflected on the way across from Blackwood. Caesar and Nishaw both gassed at the present moment.
Well, and for RGV, Victor Garza is just not happy. He's tracking that one in behind. You see the way he goes after the ball after it's out of bounds, just the frustration. He has to track all the way back to keep that one from the cross coming across the face of goal.
Well, Sacramento having one of their best offensive games of the season. We haven't yet reached halftime. Barrera. Hall got ahead to it. Took a weird bounce, but Caesar lines that ball way out of play. Well, sometimes it just feels like the night couldn't go any better, so why not? The USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and its rising stars. Stay up to date on all the latest league news and information by visiting uslsoccer.com. Follow them on Twitter at USL. USL's 20 under 20 is coming in a mere couple of weeks. Nicholas Murray's both power rankings and 11 things, both online from what was another tremendous week in USL play. Yet again, attendance records are the story. Ivan Magalhaes. Green. Shaw stepping in. Karamd into an attacking position for RGV. That's a nice ball through to Bird. Kasner steps into the box. Fires across. Knocked back across by Green. Cleared. Nishaw knocked down. 3 minutes of added time, and we're nearly halfway through it now.
That was a nice build-up from RGV. You see them getting Green forward. They've had most of their success when they get at least one of their outside backs high. Victor Garza earlier in the half was able to get forward on that left side, was able to create and then push Escalante forward a little bit more. So that's when they're at their best. They haven't had enough space throughout most of this half to get those players forward. But if they can continue to get them forward, continue to get them on the ball, or at least be an option, it really helps their attack.
Ball for Kasner, stolen by Horde. Hall got forward, Barrera stayed back and sends to Horde. Sacramento looking right now like the team that a year ago wound up first in the Western Conference. Blackwood keeps it alive. Caesar was trying to find Nishaw, but the clearance is kept by the Republic. Casares. Final seconds of first half stoppage time. Will RGV get one more chance to counter? Kasner. They're going to let play go on. And there it is, the halftime whistle. Well, for RGV, they've got some work to do in the locker room at half. For Sacramento, I don't think you could have drawn it up much better if you're Paul Buckle than it finished out through 45.
I mean, everything Paul Buckle wanted to be put into place was, and it was executed. So not only did he have the runs he was looking for, he had the finish. And he was saying, as a coach, his job is to put his team in a position to create chances in front of the opponent's goal, and it's up to his guys to put it in the back of the net. Well, guess what? They were able to get in front of goal, create those chances, and then able to finish. 3 different players, his attacking front, everything he needed and wanted from them in that half happened.
A tremendous opening half for Sacramento. Wilson Nishaw in the 19th. Blackwood in the 27th. Caesar in the 42nd. What a tremendous first half it was. We look back at the first half highlights and stats when we return. Shocked by Caesar. Few more fearsome venues than Sacramento Republic FC's Papa Murphy's Park. Might well be leaving nightmares in the minds of Rio Grande Valley Toros players. 3-0 at halftime. A dominant performance in the wicked heat in Central California, a week where it's over 100 degrees every single day. The indomitable city, the indomitable fan base still making it out. The Republic at Papa Murphy's Park, Morgan, has a tremendous ability to not only grind out results, but bring massive crowds through the turnstiles.
And that just makes playing at home that much better. It's always great, you know, to sleep at home, to be just in your comfort area playing at home, but the fact that you have a venue that is as incredible as Papa Murphy's Park, and then to have a fan base, the longest sellout streak, 32 games. To have fans that support you that much, it just makes it that much better playing at home. And also as a player, makes you just want to make the most of your games at home, even more because you don't want to disappoint the fans who come out to watch you.
They were Cincinnati before Cincinnati existed, and this average attendance is a sellout every single night, which is a big reason why Major League Soccer has their eyes trained right on this stadium, right on this venue. A look at the USL Power Rankings, and what you'll find is that neither of these teams are there, but if Sacramento plays like this for much longer, they'll work their way in. Real Monarchs, the USL regular season win record for longest win streak, 8 in a row, and make it 9 on Monday, and then San Antonio undefeated. This is a real top-heavy group.
Yeah, and Louisville, Charleston coming out of the Eastern Conference, but Louisville's been playing very well lately. They are a team that I think is fun to watch. I mean, all these teams are fun to watch, but Louisville, just the firepower, offensive firepower, the way they are coached, the organization of the team, I think they have the capability to be extremely good.
Rowdies just had 2 points ripped from them in Richmond. They'll try and claw their way further up the standings on ESPNU. The first of 2 consecutive weeks on national TV for the USL. The Rowdies and FC Cincinnati has potential to be one of the great rivalries in this league, Morgan.
I mean, I've been waiting for that game since the first game on ESPN3 earlier in the season. That's been circled on my calendar, only a couple weeks away. That's going to be a good one.
It is exciting. The Rowdies and FC Cincinnati on July 6th. We've got 45 minutes left to go here. Republic 3, Toros 0 at the half.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
It only takes a moment to make a moment.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. At work or at play, you're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Oh, hey, she's cute. Nice going, man. Things are going great for you. You've earned a night out. Good drinks, good friends. Yeah, we can go ahead and call this a good night. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Not smart. Yeah, I saw that coming. Say goodbye to her. Ouch, that'll hurt your bank account. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. I hope you like eating frozen dinners. Alone. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the eye.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
We've raised the stakes. Expectations are high. Our biggest season yet will break records with elite players and future stars. Innovative technology and new homes. We're growing the game in our communities and across the nation. Are you ready?
Sacramento really raising their level far north of the bar. 3-0 Republic FC over Rio Grande Valley at halftime. We look back on the highlights from the half that was, forward to the half that will be from Northern California when we return in the USL Game of the Week on ESPN3. Sacramento was third in the league in shots coming into the evening, but 16th in the league in goals. We've talked about conversion, and in the first half, we finally saw Sacramento take advantage of opportunities, Morgan. 3-0 at halftime. Some early chances for Blackwood and the Sacramento offense, but eventually they got it in gear.
And a lot of their chances came from what they wanted to do, getting at the back line, but playing in behind that back line. Started off early, putting some pressure on this RGV backline, but just the initial split ball, able to find Nishaw, gets a little touch on it. Cazares, the vision to play that ball through to Nishaw, sees it, sees Anguita coming off of his line quickly, gets just enough under the ball to chip it over.
Came in the 19th minute. Cazares, who scored in 2 games running in all competitions, and terrific chip ball, perhaps in Archer's vision. And a great celebration from Nishaw to boot. Then you move forward. Barrera finding Caesar. And then the finish by Blackwood. What a goal.
I mean, what a goal. What a build-up. Starting originally that ball, the first initial ball from Barrera, and then just the little touch from Caesar to see Blackwood coming through. Blackwood, defenders on him, composure. Don't know about the celebration, but he was able to finish.
27th minute move forward. Caesar's got the great assist. How about this finish to the short side?
I mean, why not one for himself? The individual effort, a nice diagonal ball once again in behind, finding Caesar, gets the cut, tried it earlier, didn't work, was able to get the cut, 2 defenders, the sliding touch, a little deflection, which kind of throws Anguita off where he's going. Caesar, why not add one for himself?
Came in the 42nd minute, and it's 3-0 at halftime. How about we look forward to the upcoming Game of the Week schedule? Well, ESPN3 will have the next 2 games, but you'll be able to see them on national TV as well. Tampa Bay, Cincinnati, then San Antonio. Could they still be undefeated by then, taking on Oklahoma City Energy in our upcoming Game of the Week schedule?
And we've talked a lot about Tampa Bay, Cincinnati. Obviously, that's going to be a great matchup, a rematch. But San Antonio, OKC, San Antonio, like you said, on a roll. A couple ties, able to get back in the win column, but OKC's on a bit of a roll.
They're starting to find themselves, aren't they?
Andy Craven's really stepped up for them. Had a couple goals in the last few games. That's going to be a really good matchup also.
RGV and Orange County to follow on ESPN3. Here's the Western Conference standings, and you'll find number 6 and number 7 are numbers that mean a lot to the fans watching this game. Sacramento and RGV, they were 1 and 2 last year when the standings finished out.
Well, and also if Sacramento gets the win tonight, guess what? So long to number 6, they're up at 3. So a win tonight would be huge for them, especially at home in front of this crowd.
Players have arrived back onto the field. The sellout streak here in Sacramento was 32 games when the ESPN3 Game of the Week arrived last year, but what was the 3rd or 4th consecutive home match proved to be a bit too much, and tonight it appears the Northern California Heat may have kept some fans at home, but over 11,000 have taken in every match here at Papa Murphy's Park so far, and surely plenty of fans working their way back from the concession stand and not only the hydration stations, but also the tents that they've set up and the fan coolers that they've put around the stadium as well. Coming out of the locker room, Sacramento looks like they're on the front foot. There's Caesar. Blackwood keeping the ball. Finally dispossessed. Bird came away with it. Flies ball up the left-hand wing. Here comes Kasner. Time in the Galaxy Academy out of Clemson. Kasner keeping the ball at his feet. Kai Green, a Pirate from Seton Hall. High arcing ball. Evan Newton hasn't been too busy so far tonight.
Not a difficult save, obviously, for Evan Newton, but RGV just did something in the first minute of the second half that they struggled doing all throughout the first half, which is winning the ball in the middle of the field. Bird looked long, took a page from Sacramento's book, looked to play in behind, but they got numbers forward. They got Kai Green forward. He looked across, nothing came from it, but at least the idea is there. At least he's getting forward, getting him into the attack, because these RGV players have been stuck so deep they haven't been able to get forward and create.
Bird swinging that up over his shoulder. There's Garcia. Well, there's Green, to your point, arriving towards the corner, sends service. Nearly. Garcia tries to keep it alive. Rio Grande Valley and Sacramento. Across the midfield line, Caesar was running into Magalhaes. I don't think there was a single cross from Kai Green in the final third in that first half.
He finally started to get forward in about the last 5 to 7 minutes. And a little bit was created as he got forward, but you're right, there was no cross, there was no real work happening towards the goal when he got forward, but he started to go forward, and that was something I said, their last big buildup, he got forward. I said that's something they need to take into the second half, because that's what brings them success, whether it's not just Green, but Garza, either one of their center backs getting forward. Excuse me, outside backs.
Horde has that ring off of his arm. There's Garza. Ceding possession back to the Republic. We spoke with Junior Gonzalez this week, the first-year head coach for this RGV franchise. He mentioned that Kai Green getting forward is a product of finding the right numbers upfield. But you get the feeling that Sacramento's been so relentless on the wings that it's really not presented the opportunity to try and get numbers the other way for Kai Green and Garza.
Well, and that comment came out of me asking, you know, Green gets forward a lot. Is that a big part of your attack? And his answer was, if it's on. He's asking his outside backs, Garza and Green, to just survey what's going on in the field. He wants his team to be in a numbers up situation, whether that's defensively or offensively. So if it's not a good time to go forward, he expects his players to read the situation and know that. So obviously in the first half, it wasn't on for Green to get forward.
Dummied through. Blackwood all alone. Blackwood saved by Anguita. Caesar was offside, and it was brilliant that he let that roll by.
Sacramento's having fun.
Yeah.
You do little flicks like that. You do dummies when you are having fun. Obviously, it helps being up 3 goals. They're confident. They're just playing. They're just having fun out there.
Paul Buckle said when we're playing at our best, I'd pay money for it.
He said he'd seen it a couple times throughout the season. I definitely think this is an example of how fun they are to watch when they're confident, when they're playing extremely well.
Passing the ball effectively, finding space behind. This is the Republic team that I think most people thought come out of last year's Western Conference regular season title holders. Team that lost Cameron Iwasa to Sporting Kansas City. Mike DeFont moved on as well. They brought in Sammy Ochoa, who's available off the bench tonight. Trevin Caesar out of Orange County, who had scored 19 goals in Southern California. Brought him up north. Green. Initial header won by Clementa. Green will get a second bite at the apple. Bird. Kasner allows that through. Garcia. Garza looking for Kasner. Saris, now Caesar. I'll try to do something special there yet again. Kasner chests it down. Barrera. Right off the referee. And RGV take advantage of the misfortune for Sacramento. Escalante. Garcia. Well, he gave it a ride. Well off target.
Looking back at this dummy by Caesar, he knows he's offsides. He just steps to the side of the ball because he sees Blackwood coming in, making that run. That's a nice save by Inguita. He sees Blackwood opening up his hips, knows he wants to go to that far post, is able to get his first move to get low to that ball, but Caesar once again. I mean, just stepping to the side, knowing if he touches it, plays dead. It's offsides because he was involved in the play, but just aware of that and removing himself from the play. May have thrown RGV off a little bit, but in his mind, he just stepped to the side of it and allows the ball to go through.
Green, Bird. Bird hit that. Hey, fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the United Soccer League. Tune into USL Coast to Coast on Mondays, 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM-FC Channel 85. Don't forget that XMFC airs the USL Game of the Week. Check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. Ward. Anguita. Can't really blame him all that much. Well, one-on-ones for Sacramento that they took advantage of. He's made a couple of big saves, but for RGV, that has not been enough on the evening. Green.
Well, and it's obvious a conversation at halftime coming from Junior Gonzalez was we have to get our outside backs forward. You see Kai Green getting forward, Victor Garza getting.
That ball headed, snapped wide of the post. It was Wharton, the target. Gonzalez familiar with Wharton from the MLS Combine where he coached him. He was the target on this effort.
Wharton able to get in front of Kiffey there as he comes across the face of the goal, tries to get a header. It's difficult because as he comes across the angle of the goal, it closes because he's coming across, so obviously that has to be a snap flick header, either directly to the near post, but your window's getting smaller, or somehow to the back post, which is extremely difficult. So it's a really good run, but he may have started a little too soon trying to get in front of it, but it just really closes that window on the near post.
Barrera. Hall. There's Barrera again, returning from a 1-game suspension. Landing it right on the foot of Blackwood, and Kai Green got a piece of that on the way out over the end line. A corner kick to a very dangerous Sacramento side on set pieces.
Kiffey, just nice footwork. Looking like he's going to pass the ball at the left side, but nope, last minute decides to keep it at his feet and come central.
Well, Barrera put it in play quickly. Blackwood tried to sneak behind. Bird. Got it by Casares. On it again. So much hype and excitement around this RGV franchise right now. Opening the state-of-the-art stadium in the Rio Grande Valley, HEB Park. Anguita comes well outside his box. Try and push numbers forward, and maybe an opportunity now for Sacramento to counter. Nishaw, Caesar, his second of the game, 4-0 for Sacramento.
Sacramento taking advantage of a poor pass from Anguita, moving in transition and going quickly. Able to find Caesar with a nice little flick to Nishaw, who can slip it back to Caesar. Crushes it first time to that far post. That is a strike. The pace he puts on the ball. That's the trouble you get into if you're RGV. You're trying to get your goalkeeper on the ball to push your center backs wide to get your outside backs higher. But if it's a poor pass, the transition happens so quickly, especially when you have someone like Caesar leading the transition. It happens so quickly, and it's so dangerous if you have a breakdown in the center of the field.
We spoke with Paul Buckle about him, said, make no mistake, we brought him in to be our #1 striker. That was the game plan coming into the year. He'd scored 10 goals last year, 9 goals the year prior in Orange County. They had lost so much firepower from their front line. As Kiffey knocks that back, and Newton able to play it with his feet. But he kind of struggled a little bit. He said, you know, maybe the transition on paper was easier than it was in reality for him.
Well, and all of it goes back to Paul Buckle's players have success when they are playing to their strengths. And he is a coach that will change the formation to allow his players to play to their strengths.
Nishaw. Caesar is looking for the hat trick. Went sliding in. Garza made it all the more difficult. Man possessed this evening.
Caesar is at his best when he has space, when he has the freedom to get in behind, and when it's simple, when the game is simple. He has the layoffs, but he stays with the run and goes to get the second ball right in front of goal. Paul Buckle said that was one of the biggest changes. He said Caesar coming into a team that is very possession, really good at passing, that was one of the things that he struggled with a little. He said Caesar has been at his best when it's just simple, when he's able to be played in behind, when he's able to use his pace. So kudos to Paul Buckle for knowing his players and being open to changing the formation to allow his players do what they are naturally best at, or what they've just grown into being really good at. He's able to change that, discover that, put players in the position to do what they naturally do really well, and look what it does.
We've seen it for Blackwood in that number 10 role that he hasn't traditionally played in the league with Arizona United previously. A really hard challenge. It's going to draw not just the ire, but a card from the official. Wharton is going into the book.
And going back to Paul Buckle, tonight you don't see Sammy Ochoa in the lineup. A proven goal scorer in his career, a big goal scorer for the Sacramento team, but he knew in this game it was important to get in behind defenders. Pace and getting in behind defenders probably isn't Sammy Ochoa's best skill. He's really good at holding the ball. He's a fantastic finisher. Just a natural forward, but pace might not be his #1 strength. Paul Buckle knows that. So he decided to switch it up and put in Nishaw Caesar, 2 players that can get in behind the defense and play the way he wanted them to play tonight. And look what it's done, 4-0. To be able to score 4 goals with so much time left to play just shows the type of coach he is.
One of those players that pulls the strings to set it all up. Danny Barrera has called it a night. 60 minutes in. Hall brought down by Wharton on that previous challenge. And drawing a yellow card for the effort, Dan Trickett-Smith has come on. 7 in the Sacramento jersey. See him at the top of your screen. Bird. Caesar really coming at him. To be fair to Caesar, we talk about goals 2 and 3 of the season, but that's just in league play. He scored twice in the U.S. Open Cup as well, including that dominant, at least on the scoreline, performance against Real Salt Lake. Got them through, face LA Galaxy in the next round this coming week as Hall and Escalante coming face to face. Escalante, who played 3 games in Houston last year, including a start, a Honduran who comes by way of a 12-month loan for the 2nd consecutive year from Olympia in Honduras. Garcia. Escalante thrown off the ball by Hall, really needless. The yellow's coming. Those two had just come to a near scuffle previous. Third yellow of the year to Jeremy Hall. There's the yellow to Hall.
Well, you know, Escalante was remembering that last little tussle that happened. I think Hall went in hard, but definitely some theatrics there from Escalante. The roll a couple times. I don't know if all that's needed.
Yeah. Well, what can TJ Kasner do? This is prime real estate on the free kick. Has not scored yet this year, but a prolific scorer at Clemson. Wide wall for Sacramento. Newton between the posts. Kasner strikes it low, he beats Newton, and RGV pulls one back in the 65th minute.
TJ Kasner picked out exactly where he wanted to go with that ball. saw a space in the wall because he completely split them, had a little space, and just struck that far post. Evan Newton not even close to getting there. Looks like he was blocked a little bit by his wall because he didn't have too quick of a reaction, but Kasner knew where he wanted to go, and what a finish to be able to deliver right there.
First of the season for TJ Kasner. For RGV, we'll see if they can't make it game on late. All 5 of their wins have come when they scored first. As big a mountain to climb as they've seen all year. This is a RGV side that had conceded just 10 times in their first 12 games. Now 4 times this evening, undone by this Sacramento attack.
Great view of this goal. Kasner. It looks like Caesar starts to come across from that left side of the wall, which creates a space. Kasner sees it and just executes.
And to your point, there was not a small hole, a gaping hole for him to sneak that around.
I don't know why Caesar decided to come off there and start to go across. I couldn't see if there was a player maybe he was following. I don't think there would have been, so that's surprising to see him come off because he's obviously on the left side of the wall, but he's pretty much in the center of the box there. So that's a key space to fill, and he just left it, which created that opening for Kasner.
RGV looking for another. Kasner brought it down. Christian flies in, dispossesses. Wharton takes it back, sliding through. Ultimately cleared by Sacramento. Paul Buckle really trying to get his team to focus up here. We've got this 4-goal lead at the 60-minute mark, and you want to make sure it doesn't get too interesting late. With an RGV team that, frankly, is not too worried about the heat in Northern California tonight. A little bit of space here. Player down for RGV just above the box. Kai Green slid away from him. Now Sacramento springing forward. Nishaw. Trickett-Smith just out of his reach. So the Toros tending the injured player. And back to his feet. The USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues on the planet, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date on all the latest league news and information by visiting uslsoccer.com. Follow them on Twitter at USL. All the game highlights if you missed them early. As Emilio Garcia back to his feet. I think you and I had one of our most fruitful conversations with a head coach yet this year in Paul Buckle. It's been a bit of a rocky road for the Sacramento side this year. They got their first win over an MLS club against Real Salt Lake in the Open Cup, playing in front of sellout crowds as usual. As sub coming, Ruben Luna coming on for Emilio Garcia. But his team appears to have found their form, particularly at home. And in speaking with people around the Sacramento organization, they struggled a bit, but they really seem to struggle away from home, where they've already played 9 of their 16 road games this year.
Well, Mike, going back to that conversation with Paul Buckle, he said that this has been one of the hardest seasons of his. He really just changed to what his players need, and I think that says a lot about a coach, the fact that it wasn't working and he decided to go to the players. And that's who he's working with. Why not play a system that works to their strengths?
At first, they tried 3 in the back, which really seemed to stymie this RGV side in their 0-0 draw earlier this season at Papa Murphy's Park. But also to this 4-4-2 diamond that has paid tremendous dividends of late.
And a 4-4-2 diamond is it's a fun way to play. I played a 4-4-2 diamond in college, and if you have a dynamic attacking midfielder, it allows them the space to just make the most of it. If you have an attacking midfield player like Blackwood, who can go at the back line, who can create, who can get in behind with his runs, the 4-4-2 diamond just allows for that, because he's not playing with the box or flat. It gives him the space to do so, and it gives a creative attacking player the opportunity to build off forwards. And if you have 2 dynamic forwards, what better than to have a player who can create for them right underneath?
They never let you play the number 10 role in the 4-4-2 diamond, right?
Oh, no. They knew better.
They knew better.
Never.
Luna tried to hold up play.
You can dream, but no.
Caesar getting behind again. Caesar for the hat trick. He scores. One of the best assists in the league early. 3 goals late. Trevin Caesar having his best game as a member of Republic FC. And it's 5 goals in the net for Sacramento tonight.
I was really excited to watch Caesar tonight, knowing when he's at his best, he has space and the ability to run free, and that is what has led to each of his 3 goals. Knowing he's there, playing the ball in behind, finding him in the space, and Caesar just getting the ball at his feet and doing just that.
The earlier breakup play, keep it away from Ruben Luna, and then the quick transition. Sacramento wants more. Blackwood. 42nd, 57th, 72nd. Every 15 minutes, which means we're due for another one in about the 87th minute. Monster performance tonight for Trevin Caesar. Kasner. Christian. Hall breaks it away, making it look as easy as ever. What's shocking about this for RGV, they've allowed 10 goals in 12 games. They've allowed 5 tonight, and sometimes when it rains, it pours. Nishaw. Giant rebound, comes out to Blackwood, drops it off. Long range effort is above the bar. Anguita making the big save. Kyle Murphy on his way on. Jose Escalante checking off for RGV.
Like, I think what's almost scary about the success Sacramento is having right now, they still haven't subbed out their front 3.
No, they're still coming.
And those forwards, Nishaw, Caesar, are still getting at the back line with pace. Blackwood is still creating out of the midfield. 74 minutes into this game, and they are playing with the same amount of pace that they started with.
Green dispossessed. Came to Bird, and now Kasner's got the lone goal for Rio Grande Valley. Ward. Ward collecting. There's Wharton. The turn, Kazara stepping in. Luna can't hold it. Lamenta's pass knocked downfield. Caesar. There's the whistle. Robert Sagal went down. Hey fans, today's match, an important role in the close partnership between Major League Soccer and the USL to test the use of a video assistant referee, or VAR. Green, the cross, too far. Bounce down to Murphy. Kasner falls down. Casares, Caesar. The fourth. Caesar tried to lob the keeper, and Angoita was just able to get a fingertip to it. How's that for confidence? Kasner whips in service, and there's Newton. But to continue on a previous note, VAR is implemented only during key match-changing situations and serious missed incidents on the field. For more information on VAR and its use in the United Soccer League, go to uslsoccer.com. Caesar. He may be nearing the end of his run tonight. Gabe Gissy is waiting at the bench. So too is Christian Lucatero for RGV. Luna. Ward. Service miss hit. And it's off to the bench for Sacramento. A standing ovation on the way off the field. Trevin Caesar.
If it's 60 minutes, do it for 60 minutes, but make this RGV defense tired. Trevin Caesar did that for 77 minutes of this game. RGV did not want to be near him when he had the ball, when he had space. He made his moments count. What a game.
What a game for Trevin Caesar. This really is some kind of coming out party. Papa Murphy's Park. Now Ward and Christian. It's heated. It would be easy in a game like this, given all the circumstance. It's maybe boiling over late. It's important that the referees keep a strong hold on it. Lucatero continues up. And Clementa knocking the ball off of Lucatero, who's still appealing for a foul.
Both teams are tired at this point. Clementa missed 2 to 3 tackles right there, and he was also lucky he wasn't called for a foul as Lucatero stayed on his feet. That's something that Sacramento RGV, these defenders have to be careful of. If they're going to go in for a tackle, they have to win the ball, because at this point in the game, they're tired. So if they don't go in purposefully, know where they're going to tackle, it can be a way to give up an easy foul.
And it could be a way to give up your upcoming game against Galaxy 2 as well. It's done really poorly. Kasner's got the lone goal. It was on a set piece, a free kick in the 65th minute for RGV. He takes this corner. Headed across by Sagal, and the second header saved by Newton.
Kai Green is getting involved in the second half, and it has been a difference maker for RGV. Able to find the second header. Obviously doesn't go in, but he at least forces Newton to make a save. Makes it difficult for Newton rather than just a ball coming to him easily.
Gabe Gissy was targeted the other way. Earns a corner for Sacramento. Here's Dan Trickett-Smith, 21 years old, out of Newcastle, England. I'm with Liverpool. Still so young. Trickett-Smith looking for Clementa, and the referee comes in trying to soothe rising tempers. Eshaw like a shark in water going around Anguita now on the goal line, settling in front of Kasner. Trickett-Smith. Christian Wharton got there. Gissy down by Anguita. Well struck ball, Ruben Luna. Dropping back, nobody there.
That's frustrating. A nice ball out. Luna doing what he needs to do, finding the ball, cutting it back, just has nobody below him.
Poked through. Anguita avoids the corner. Fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast on Monday nights, SiriusXM FC Channel 85. And don't forget, SiriusXM FC airs the USL Game of the Week. Check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. The archive of that available on the SiriusXM app. Chris Tierpak from San Antonio FC on last week. Also Joe Farrell, Rochester Rhinos. Turning shot, it didn't fool Evan Newton. You know, the exciting thing about this evening, it's always nice to have some midweek soccer, but this is a stretch in the United Soccer League where there are games on 10 consecutive days, including tomorrow, I think a good one. Tampa Bay Rowdies will go on the road to the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Kiffey stepping in on green. Stu Campbell's side, such a disappointing draw against Richmond. Frank Tayu made his name with San Antonio FC last year as a midseason signee, tallying in his kicker's debut. Blackwood. Gissy is front running. Blackwood squares it. Trickett-Smith, saved by Anguita.
Anguita's done a really good job of managing the ball and with his distribution. He sees what's around him. Whether he's tossing it out quickly or finding a quick drop kick, he's aware of what's around him, and he's doing a really good job of getting the ball back into play and finding his team. Obviously, he had one poor pass that led to a goal for Sacramento, but for the most part, he's done a really good job of getting the ball back into play and putting it in a place where his team can move forward with it quickly.
Christian Cheney bouncing on the touchline, waiting his time. Still 5 minutes left in this one, plus stoppage. And Gissy tracks this down. Flag stayed down. Top of the box, and Cleared away. Nishaw looking for another. Nishaw scored in the 19th. It was the first goal of the contest. Blackwood scored in the 27th, and then it became the Trevin Caesar show. 3 goals in half an hour's time. Rocketed by Lucatero, wide of Newton. Republic go to the bench. We talked about that front three. Gradually, they're finally getting to come off. Cheney comes on. Nishaw applauding the crowd, applauding him back for a fine performance tonight.
When your front three work together as well as Sacramento's did tonight, I mean, also, if someone like Caesar is on like he was on tonight, it's easy to play him balls. You know what's working for him. You know where he's finding success throughout the night. But the way those three played together, I mean, it just sets up so much, and it puts this team in such a great position.
You think forward for Sacramento at Galaxy 2, then at the Galaxy. U.S. Open Cup play. They're playing their best soccer of the year. Arriving now, Cheney towards the open net, looking for a handball. Opportunity still there. Trickett-Smith on the side volley. He put it in. Cheney getting the rebound, poised, finding Trickett-Smith, and it's 6-1 to Sacramento.
Well, Cheney making an impact right as he came on, gets the ball back. It's not on for him, decides to bring it back to Trickett-Smith, who has way too much time at the top of the box, but is aware of it, allows the ball to bounce because he has that much time. Why force the shot? Is able just to get on top of the volley, find the back of the net.
Trickett-Smith finds the net for the first time this year. It comes in the 88th minute. Well, if you're Rio Grande Valley, I think it's a very simple formula. You fly home and then you forget about this game. They've got 3 consecutive road affairs. Sacramento and then Colorado Springs and at Swope Park in the coming couple of weeks.
And this is a frustrating one for RGV because talking with Junior Gonzalez, he said the team they were going to put out there today is one you'd be familiar with. He said it's a veteran RGV squad. He was confident in his guys tonight, and I just think what you've seen out of RGV is a team that wasn't able to establish anything early on, whether it's tempo, rhythm, passing. It took them so long to establish that by the time Sacramento's up 2-3-0, you're so far behind, and Sacramento's just hot at that point.
Well, and it seemed like at times they were struggling to get numbers forward, get their fullbacks forward in the first half, and by the time they did in the second half, you're already down and you're already being beaten in behind. Kasner in swinger, headed down. That ball's in the back of the net. RGV has taken one back. Looked like Kyle Murphy, who swung it past Newton. 6-2 in favor of Sacramento. Nothing more than a consolation for a Toro side that jogs back.
And it's frustrating, but the fact that they continue to get their outside backs forward, yes, it's off of a free kick, but Kai Green finds his way in the box. When he gets forward, good things happen, opportunities arise. And to be able to put that one away is kind of a consolation goal, but Murphy was in the right position, able to put one away. For Sacramento, though, Paul Buckle's not going to be happy with that.
Blackwood. The USL game of the week coming to its conclusion. The next one is on ESPNU, national TV, as the Tampa Bay Rowdies and Al Lang Stadium play host to FC Cincinnati. Those two played a really fantastic game at Nippert Stadium in an earlier edition of the ESPN game of the week. Marcel Schaefer scoring a SportsCenter top 10 goal. The yellow card on the way out the door. Kiffey goes into the book. It's his third of the year. Scorecard getting a little crowded between the cards and the goals tonight. Largely in favor of Sacramento, who will pick up their 6th win of the year. And they'll do it in front of a highly partisan crowd here at Papa Murphy's Park. Lucatero let through. And we've reached full time. 100-degree heat. Sacramento hot coming in. Caught fire tonight. 3 goals for Trevin Caesar. Blackwood, Trickett-Smith, and Nishaw score as well. This was an utterly dominant performance by the Republic.
And just following their game plan, doing what their coach asked them to do, what their coach knew they would be successful at, executing all over the field, creating chances, but more importantly, finishing the chances. Trevin Caesar, it's hard to stop somebody when they're that hot during a game, and he just made the most of his opportunities.
Rio Grande Valley that allowed just 10 goals in 12 games. Nishaw on the board first. Blackwood would follow. Caesar with 3. Trickett-Smith the final. 6-2. Highlights when we return.
There's a place that brings together teams
of world-class problem solvers. Here, they save lives at a moment's notice, restore sight to those who otherwise would not see, empower those facing immobility to live active lives. Through teamwork and bold innovation, they confront the toughest medical challenges to make the world a healthier place. UC Davis Health System.